Hello my hungry friends, my name is Anna. In 2001, I moved to America from my hometown of Szczecin, Poland to be with the love of my life, Mark. While living in the US, I realized that I wanted to share my passion for Polish cuisine with America and the world. So finally, in 2015, I started a Polish food blog. After my husband retired from the army, we decided to start a new adventure in my native home. We spend our time showing the world the wonders of Polish cooking in our kitchen, and sometimes we shut down our kitchen and explore Poland together to find as much good food as we can. Welcome to Polish Kitchen. Hello my hungry friends! This is Polish Kitchen and my name is Anna, and today in my kitchen we are making a delicious Polish, but not necessarily, a tomato soup. Summer's in season. We are in summer season here in Poland right now, and my tomatoes are almost ready. I don't have any tomatoes.
We're not gardeners.
No, but I know a lot of you are, so we're gonna do a short and a long version of a delicious tomato soup, and I'm sure once you make it, you'll remember how your mom or grandma made it before and how deliciously amazing it is. And to make this very appetizing beginning, I have a big pot of guts.
Well, not guts.
So you know when you buy a bunch of chickens from a farmer and then you cut away the legs and the wings and the boobs, and then you're left with a bunch of leftover that you don't necessarily want to throw away because there's a bunch of flavor on this. So I have a couple of chicken carcasses, and that also sounds always terrible, but hey. And here in Poland, where we live, when you buy chickens, they come with chicken feet because chickens have feet. And oh, by the way, I eat them, which disgusts most of my family.
Yes, it does.
But there's a couple of necks and more feet because two chickens. And there's also livers and hearts. But that's also a lot of flavor. And the wing tips, we normally separate the wings and then we grill them most of the time. But this is flavor as well. There's a bunch of cartilage and but see, Mama, I see raw chicken, my mouth's watering. I don't know about you. So all that goes in. And what we're doing is we're going to make a broth, which you can skip forward if you don't want to start from the beginning and just use store-bought broth. But we're going to make our own broth, and part of it we're going to use for the tomato soup, and part of it we're just going to save for next time or for just eat this chicken soup. So I'm just going to get rid of these and then we'll continue. So to make a delicious, full of flavor chicken broth, we're going to need our chicken, and I have a parsley root, which I know it can be hard to find if you're in the United States. You can also use a parsnip. Hey! And those are a lot easier to find. They actually look a lot like this. They're just normally a little bit fatter. But either one would work. They both provide, their taste just a little bit different, but they both provide nice flavor. So just a couple chops. And I have 3 carrots. You can do one more probably for this big pot. I just grabbed 3, but this will do. And I have a quarter of a celery root, which this is a half. In America, they come a little bit bigger if you find them. If you can't find them, you can use a couple of celery stalks. And if you're using this, I normally just kind of peel them by cutting off the skin a little bit like this. And then I'll just cut it in half and in half again. Toss that in there. And I have 1 onion that I have burnt on a small dry pan. That's a bunch of flavor. And I will put a whole leek, because this guy's little. I'm just chopping off the dried ends. Make sure you wash in between the leaves, because a lot of the times you'll find a bunch of sand in there. And we'll put that in there. And I have my trio, which is bay leaves. The larger grains are allspice and the small ones are peppercorns. So that goes in. And our aromatics are deliciously ready. And I know this big pot takes a couple tablespoons of water, of salt. So I'm adding that and I'm covering it all with water. And I'm gonna set it on my stove, bring it up to boil, and then turn it to low, just to low simmer, just small bubbles. And I'm gonna set it, leave it there for like 3 hours. I want all the flavors to come out of the meat and out of the vegetables, and then we'll continue with our soup. So our chicken stock is on the stove, but on the magic of television, I already have some made. Normally when I make a big batch of chicken stock, I will jar them, and to do so, if this is too long for you, feel free to skip forward. And don't tell me I talk too much, I already know that. I will sterilize the jars, then I will pour in boiling stock into the jars, sterilize the jars and the lids, put the lid on it and just let them cool in the jars. So jars like this will stay in the fridge for about 4 or 5 days if you don't boil the jars after you put the contents in. Soup like this never lasts in our house, so I normally just pour it in the jars, close the jars and keep it in the fridge, and we'll eat it within a week or so. I use it for different soups, like we're using it for our tomato soup today. If you're starting from this point, you can have pre-made or store-bought stock. All you gotta do, this is gonna be a simple soup. So you open your jar, we're gonna transfer, I keep the fat cap on there too because that's flavor. And I'm gonna start heating this. And then to make the soup a little bit more flavorful, all to have a little bit of extra veg in it, I would normally also take a couple of carrots, peel them, and put them in the stock right now as well. And then to it, I'm adding a can of diced tomatoes. It could be roasted or unroasted, however you like. If you're using fresh, you're gonna use about 8 tomatoes or more if you like a very powerful, flavorful soup. I normally don't peel them, I just cut them into cubes and I just put them in my stock. Gentle-like. So after our tomatoes and our carrot, our imagination carrot, or imagined carrot. Well, I'm saying I will have a carrot from my soup, but if you're just starting from here, I would also add a carrot. So since these are diced, we're going to want to blend this. But before that, I'm also going to add a can of tomato paste, because that's going to give us a lot of nice tomatoey flavor.
How much is a can?
So it depends. Is that a good answer?
That's a good answer.
So the recipe is at polishyourkitchen.com, and in the top menu you'll find all the recipes, and all my recipes, not all, a lot of my recipes are also in my cookbooks, and I published 4, and my family table, which I'm cooking out of today, has the tomato soup recipe. We also have a Christmas cookbook, Easter cookbook, and a cookbook and storybook for kids called Dumplings and Dragons. So if you haven't checked those out on my page, polishyourkitchen.com, there's a bookstore there and you can purchase your own copy. I'm also going to do if your tomatoes are super sweet, you can skip this step. I want to add just a small teaspoon of sugar. And then this is going to slowly come up to a boil. And I just switched it to a smaller pot because I thought, I don't need such a big pot. But we need to get my immersion blender out, and I'm going to blend this. So we'll just have splatter everywhere. So obviously you would not put the carrots in just yet, and blend this before you put the carrots in. Not so bad, huh?
No.
not such a terrible cook.
So
Although I kind of feel like I am today.
I suppose you can pour the whole concoction into a standard blender too,
You could.
if you don't have an immersion
Yep,
blender.
that
Right?
definitely could. So if you're putting the carrot in, you can also put the trio in. Even if you buy the stock in the store in the box or something, it'll always add a little bit more flavor. So that's always nice. So since the carrot is raw, we want to cook this for about 15 minutes till the carrot is nice and soft. So because I just added all the tomatoes in and everything, I want this to kind of come up to a boil and boil it for about 5 minutes without a carrot. Once it comes up to a boil, I'm going to turn it down a little bit just so it can simmer for a few minutes. And then last step, and then we can taste it. Once your carrot is all cooked up, we're going to do one last step. I'm going to put a little bit of hot soup in a small bowl and do some shocking. I'll do something very shocking.
That's very shocking.
I'm going to put cream in here.
Like sour cream?
No, sweet cream.
Sweet cream.
Sweet cream. And make that go a little bit. And make a big mess. And I pour that in my soup. I don't feel like a good cook today.
You know, sometimes things just don't feel
And then
like
the
they're
spoon is gonna be all inside the soup. And then last but not least, I'm gonna take a big glob of butter and add it to the soup as well. And this is Grandma approved. She always did that. And just another small layer of flavor. And bring this all to boil. And the soup is nice and smooth and it's delicious. So if you're serving this used to be my favorite soup when I was a kid. And all kids in Poland love pomidorowa, right? If they don't eat most things, they'll eat this for sure. And just as soon as my butter melts, I'm gonna pour this onto my bowl. And we normally serve the soup over a bowl of noodles or some rice. And it's very common. You would take your carrot out, throw a little bit, dice it, nice small dice, and then add it to the soup, and then pour it over the pasta like I'm gonna do right now. Okay. And then just for a little bit of extra flavor, some green parsley. And the soup took, what, all of 15 minutes to make?
Yeah, besides the 3 hours cooking the stock. Oh, yeah.
Let's taste it. So good. This is like being in my grandma's garden again. It's just close your eyes and remember all those delicious flavors. So I hope you make this soup soon, and I hope you serve it to your family and create some more memories. And for all the recipes, go to polishyourkitchen.com and check out the rest of the videos. There's almost 200 on our channel, so browse around and get to cooking. Smacznego! We ain't on a diet here.